I thought you liked it there. Was your new company even greener pastures?
Nah, I'd been wanting to leave there for months. Too many people just not doing their work and relying on a small group of people to actually get things done. My manager was not present in team affairs. Senior leadership untrustworthy. 2% pay bump across the board despite best fiscal year in company history. No promotions. 3 reorgs within 6 months. Senior manager dodging questions about the huge upcoming reorg. Told that everything is perfect by the senior leadership team right before a large round of layoffs. Huge employee churn, leading to higher workloads. Management didn't want to budge on timelines, projects getting unfunded after work already started. Zero cross-team communication, zero documentation. Anything I did find was out of date, written by people who left the company.
Hey man, I'm sorry I asked.
Zero specificity in tech specs and ticket acceptance criteria. Getting told SLA for a variable change in a staging. Environment is 24 hours, deployments 4 hours, our pipeline taking a whole hour to build. And sometimes it would fail because of general instability. Insufficient testing, no contract testing, end-to-end testing by contractors who always use the wrong types of data. Testing data being so hard to get that I need to contact another team to test our refund flow. The testing team assigning me P1s, though the problem is in starting environments. Being the only person that gets assigned defects because I'm the only name they know. Then being hounded every 20 minutes to see if I have a fix. And if I don't have a fix within 2 hours, they escalate on me. For a non-prod defect. Being forced to join triage calls for non-prod outages caused by another team. The triage team not knowing how to read logs, using multiple vendors for static code security scans and having different logins for each, having to log on with something other than our SSO in order to access logs that take forever to fetch. Other teams fucking up and causing outages so often that prod deployments can only happen at 2 a.m. My team's SRE literally making me do his job, losing 2 whole sprints to resolving defects because our SRE hasn't updated configs in 6 months. Me being one of 3 people that could reliably complete a deployment, having to rewrite a deployment and true up process for our team, and then nobody following it anyway. So I created a checklist and added it to every deployment story. That got ignored by our SRE. Random teams adding 6 stages to our pipeline in locations that don't make sense. Being told multiple, contrasting things from PMs about direction feature definitions changing after they've been refined. Our team's metrics dashboard not working correctly. Having to join every deployment that the SRE performed to make sure he did it properly, even though that's his entire job, having to teach a motherfucker how to use Git, even though he joined before me.
Sometimes Git kinda sucks,
Git
though.
is great, don't you ever say that in front of me again. Our team canceling backlog refinement calls, being the only person talking in retros, being talked over by our PM, PO constantly taking notes but somehow never knows anything.
Doodling, more likely.
Just sketches of pinup girls.
Exactly.
Changing our entire config structure so that shared config only lives in one place, and then being told that we're retiring Bitbucket anyway, so I have to migrate it. Being one of 3 people on my team doing K8's migrations.
Uh-oh, now there's only
Having
2.
to attend meetings just so I can build to CapEx. Having to deal with project codes for funding. Having to even think about funding as an engineer. Having to fight another team to get minor features that I'm dependent on. Having basically a 1-to-1 engineer to manager ratio by the time I left. Literally not having access to the DB for my team's functionality. Doing interviews for contractor vendors where people straight up lie about what they can do. Constantly being passed from team to team because nobody knows what anyone else does. Deployment freezes for 80% off Q4. Forced us to come into the office 3 times a week. No management coming in. Renovations in the office that started after we went back in. The parking deck having spaces as wide as a shopping cart. Whiteboards at my desk that didn't work. My laptop's keyboard issues that never got fixed despite being under warranty.
It was nice catching up to you. We don't really talk, so sometimes I have no clue how you're doing, you know.